Saludos amigos, KASH, President and CEO of KASH International Luxury Real Estate. Guys, how are you doing? In today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to run through and debunk some of the information that's out there related to residencies in the Dominican Republic. Okay, there's a ton of information out there. Everybody's just posting whatever they want on social media, YouTube videos. But guys, I had a quick talk with a professional attorney that handles this information, and we had a deep dive into it. So what I'm going to do here in today's video is I'm going to debunk a lot of the nonsense that's out there, so you guys have a clear understanding of how you go about, if that is your plan, to get a residency here in the Dominican Republic. All right, guys, let's do it. All right, guys, so truth about the Dominican Republic residency programs. What you really need to know here, I'm going to cover this for you, okay? The process of how this is done and what you need to be able to get a residency. So let's go ahead and jump into the things that you're hearing out there that are absolutely not true, okay? Buy a property here in the Dominican Republic, spend $200,000 and you automatically get your residency. Not true. The fact though, guys, there is no automatic residency tied to real estate purchases of any value in the Dominican Republic. A little bit later on in the video, I'm going to explain how you go about utilizing that $200,000 minimum investment, but an automatic shoe-in, you spend $200,000 on real estate and you're getting your residency, not true at all. All right. Number two, guys, there is an investor program that guarantees permanent residency with no further requirements. Not true. The facts. Investment programs exist, but they involve a formal application process, background checks, and often other legal support is required with this. It is, again, not a shoe-in. All right, so let's go a little bit deeper here now. Residency options in the Dominican Republic. Number one, a temporary residency, okay? What does that mean for you? That means you can be here as a temporary resident. Some of the key points here: it's valid for 1 year. It's a renewable for up to 5 years, okay? It's the most common starting point for most foreigners. Requirements: background check from the country of origin, bank statements, proof of income, and or pension related information. You need to have a medical certificate. You need to have a rental contract or proof of accommodations. You need to have a Dominican guarantor. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes you will require that as well. You'll also be able to demonstrate legal support. You want to have an attorney very often in this process. I know many people do it alone, but it can be rigorous, and I have heard stories of the waiting times, and if you don't speak Spanish, it makes it even more complicated. We have good friends of ours that went through this process on their own, essentially, and it took them about 2 years. So we do recommend, or at least I feel, that when you are going down this path, you want to have some sort of legal support. That is highly recommended. Okay, so the second point we want to make here is the second type is a permanent residency. Okay, this is what a lot of you are looking for. This is what a lot of you are finding information online about, and some of this information, while some is accurate, a lot is not. Okay, so there's some key points, and those are related. The key points I want to make here in today's video is going to be residency by investment. Okay, so let's look at the permanent residency option. Typically, this is granted for 1 to 5 years, allows you to live and work long-term in the DR. Renewal is every 4 years. There's options. This is one of the standard options that people look at, is that permanent residency. How do you get to that point? We're going to talk about that a little bit later. The number 3 type of residency is a fast track residency, is what many of you are talking about with real estate. Residency by investment, okay? Residency by investment. That is where there's a lot of confusion, I feel. So I'm going to help in today's video. I'm going to help you guys kind of understand that a little bit better and how you go about that process. Just buying a piece of property here is not the answer. So what does this require? This requires an investment of at least $200,000, and this is where the big breakdown happens. At least $200,000, not in real estate. It has to be in some sort of a government approved business, okay? If you have a corporation here, a Dominican corporation, it needs to be in that corporation, okay? Or it needs to be into a financial instrument of sort, being maybe a CD or some sort of long-term investment. It is not just about real estate. It's not you come here, buy a condo worth $100,000 and you have your residency. It doesn't work that way. It needs to be an investment into a business, okay, or into an approved government financial instrument here in the Dominican Republic. Keep that in mind. That is kind of where people lose, where the inaccuracies out there. That's where people lose the accuracy of what they're stating on social media. You must register the investment with, it's called the CEI-RD, okay? It must be registered. This investment must be registered with this investment board. That is critical. If you're making that investment into that must be a registered financial instrument here in the Dominican Republic. If you follow this path properly, this can lead directly to a permanent residency. It's ideal for business owners investing in the Dominican Republic into a company. For example, I have a friend that is opening up a massive company here for bottling, okay? They deal very, very large scale, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all the big multinational corporations, they do bottling for all of these companies, and they're opening up a massive operation here in Santo Domingo. So great option for that kind of an individual. Even if someone's coming here to open up a restaurant and they're going to be spending $200,000 into the country, those kind of things can assist you, okay? But it needs to be an investment into the country. It's not just buying real estate for yourself. Large-scale developers also, you guys have the opportunity to get that residency because you're creating jobs, okay? You're creating jobs. You can also invest into a CD, okay? You can do that as well, over $200,000. That's gonna assist you in that residency by investment platform. Another option is number 4, is they call it the pensionados, okay? This is someone that is on a pension and is retiring here, okay? That is something that is an option as well. This is great for, like I'm saying, the retirees or someone that is earning a passive income via a pension, via, you know, rental income back home, you know, dividends, stuff like that. They're earning that rental income. That needs to be proved, of course. They need to show their monthly income, okay? I believe that number's in and around that $1,500 US dollars per month. That is the threshold for this pensionado program. It needs to total. It needs to be a total. If it's coming from other passive income, okay, if it's coming from a pension, it's $1,500 per month. If it's coming from a passive income source, it needs to be $2,000 US dollars per month, okay? So that's one distinction if you're going the pensionado route. Important point here is this one does not require an investment or employment of any sort, okay? This one does not require you to do the $200,000 investment into a CD or a corporation here in the Dominican Republic, okay? You can bypass So guys, this is just a quick video, and guys, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a residency expert, I'm just sharing some information with you because I think it's important as you get flooded with some incorrect information, okay? This will help you guys out. So important takebacks from this one is property ownership does not equal residency, okay? That is critical. Do not think property ownership equals residency. This is very similar for a lot of these residency programs or citizenship programs that you see by investment. It is not so cut and dry that you just buy a piece of property in St. Kitts and you get your residency. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of complicated steps to this. Very often when you see those investment and citizenship programs, those are fractional ownerships of pieces of real estate, and this is not real estate that you can buy and sell. You need to hang on to for X number of years. It is not so simple or straightforward. There is a process and there is red tape in it, okay? So keep that in mind. Same thing with the Dominican Republic. It is not you just buy something for $200,000 and you're in. So don't think the Dominican Republic's at a disadvantage here, because they are absolutely not at a disadvantage, because it's very similar everywhere you go, all right? And again, guys, I'm not the expert in this. I'm just talking about some of the research I've done, because I've done a decent amount of research on this topic. And specifically, guys, as you know, I'm coming to you today from Cap Cana here in the Dominican Republic. Specifically, guys, I'm sitting here at Punta Palmera beachfront, soaking in a little bit of sun and getting this video out to you guys. Okay, so back to the important points. Key point here, property ownership does not equal residency. All right, another key take back here is you can own real estate in the Dominican Republic with no residency status at all. So don't think you need to be a resident to own real estate here. Don't tie those two things together. You can be from anywhere and you can own real estate here. You can have your own title. You can have your slice of paradise and you own it free and clear, no strings attached, title in your hand with your name on it, okay? So that is positive relative to a lot of other markets out there. The residency, if you do get the residency, it does give you benefits, okay? Some benefits. Is it a necessity? Absolutely not. But if you have it, some of the advantages that you'll have is you'll have a local ID. You'll hear the term cedula. stated a lot here in the Dominican Republic. Basically, that's your local ID. Makes things a little bit easier for banking and financing purposes. Again, not essential. You can get financing. And guys, by the way, we have a strategic alliance with the third largest bank here in the country right now, and we are helping our clients get mortgages for property. So if you're one of those people, you're not sitting liquid on a bunch of cash, but you have the cash flow on a monthly basis, you know you could do a mortgage, you're sitting on a little bit for a down payment, guys, reach out to us right away, because we can set you up. And we're going to be doing a detailed video on this. But in the meantime, if you're watching this video and you're looking to get a mortgage over here, guys, reach out, because we can assist you in this process with one of the largest banks here in the country. All right. But if you do have that cedula, you do have your residency, it makes it a little bit easier to get those loans. Not impossible if you don't have it, but easier. Okay. Also, if you have that residency, it gives you the ability to get a Dominican driver's license. If you need that, great, but you can use your Canadian, U.S. driver's license to drive around here, equally the same. But if you want that driver's license, you are able to get that if you get your residency, okay? And obviously, when you get the residency, there's other benefits you probably heard. If you do get your residency, or when you get it, you get a free container, like a 40-foot container. You can pile all your personal belongings into that and ship it down here once you get it, if that's important to you. We didn't do that, okay? That's not something important to us. We don't need our stuff from Canada. Stuff in Canada stays in Canada. We don't need to ship over our couches, and everything you need is here. And sometimes it can be more expensive sometimes, and sometimes it's not. But you have options in Santo Domingo and Piantini and Naco, all over the place, and you can get custom-made stuff by local artisans made for you. So there's so many options furniture-wise. And when I first came down here, I was of the notion that, hey, where do you buy a fridge? Where do you get an oven? Is there dishwashers here? Guys, all of that is just, very elementary thinking about the Dominican Republic and just not understanding foreign investing properly. And we didn't when we first got here. Now we do. So everything you need is here, but if you want to bring a container, you can shove a car in there, shove a quad in there, put your furniture in there, bring it here, but you do not need to. But that is one of the investments for you pack rats, let's call you that. Another thing is the processing of this can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, sometimes longer. I know people that have gone that path alone. It's taken them 2 years. It's a waiting game, okay? It's a waiting game, not just in the Dominican Republic, but then you need to gather this information. Very often, it's harder for people to gather the information and documents needed, okay, from their home country. Okay, it takes time. You got to go here, you got to go there, you got to get stuff stamped. Then you get here with that information, and then you got to run around in Santo Domingo, where the government offices are, and get it all done there. Okay, so that's why we advise you should utilize an attorney. And guys, we do have an attorney that we are working with in this. So keep that in mind, that if you want to go down this path, can you do it alone? Yes, you can. Do we advise you to do it alone? Absolutely not if you don't speak Spanish. If you speak Spanish, have at it, see how it works. But the process can take 3 to 6 months. If you're going to have at it alone, it can take longer. But let's say a year, round it out and say it'll take you at least 12 months. Done in 6 months? Sure, it's been done. The key thing here is getting the right attorney on your side, getting the right information. So as you're filtering through social media, guys, you guys are on my channel. You're relatively intelligent people. You're following the right channel, looking for real estate, looking to diversify your investments, or looking to move here. And so you see it. You see the gem that the Dominican Republic is for quality of life, cost of living, investment opportunities, capital appreciation. You're seeing all those things, right? So that being said, when you guys look to invest here in the Dominican Republic, please reach out to someone like myself, or just reach out to me directly. My WhatsApp number is right there. What I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to share a little more detail in the description below, so feel free to spend a little bit of time there. You can read through some of the descriptions. But the key take back here, guys, do not confuse property ownership. Buying something worth $200,000 does not mean you have automatic residency. There is a process in here. One note I want to make, and this is probably the most important point. Now, if you do buy a property, and I was speaking to a couple of attorneys this morning to validate this, my understanding and my take back is we very often advise you, for very specific reasons, to purchase your property in a corporation. Okay, it makes it very easy for you to transfer ownership rights. God forbid something happens to you, your family members or partners are percentage owners, and that process becomes very easy at the time of your passing. Okay, so that's one of the advantages. It also gives you some anonymity there. When you own a corporation, God forbid you run someone over and they want to sue you, protect your property in that corporation. That's another key advantage that you have there. Now, what I'm seeing as another key advantage, after doing a little bit of research here for you today, is that if you own it in that corporation, guys, when you purchase that property and you are making, because you would have to open a Dominican corporation, it's called an SLR, okay? You're going to open that Dominican corporation. That Dominican corporation is going to buy that property. That means you have to make an investment into that company of $200,000+. When you make that investment of $200,000+ into that company that is owning the real estate, you may have qualified under the investment strategy there, residency by investment. I'm going to clarify that, so feel free to send me a direct WhatsApp and I can clarify that for you. But I believe, and this is an epiphany of mine today, that if you do it that way, that is another advantage for you that want to look at the path of residency or citizenship here in the Dominican Republic. That would be the way to do it. What you don't want to do is be buying it in your personal name then. All right, so that is one advantage that I'm deciphering, and I had a few conversations with a few attorneys, and that seems like that if that is your path, you want to do residency by investment, then this could be a way that you structure it. Of course, you need to make an investment of that $200K into that corporation that is then going to own that real estate. You own that corporation, so it all works out. Okay, so that was one of the big takebacks, and that's why I decided I want to do this video for you, because that epiphany is something that's going to help a lot of you in this search for residency, search for investing in a great country like the Dominican Republic, and simplify things for you a little bit and expedite that process. All right, guys, so thanks for joining me here. Remember, my name's KASH. I'm President and CEO of KASH International Luxury Real Estate. Guys, we specialize in Cap Cana, where I'm sitting here today. Punta Cana, Vista Cana. We love Vista Cana. We think it's a great opportunity. Sub 100, sub 200, sub 300. You can get it under 300K. You can get yourself a private villa that is yours. Okay. What that does, puts more cash in your pocket. Spend less money living. Don't be house rich and cash poor. Okay. It allows you to have more money in your pocket, live a better life, have a house that you can afford that is yours, title in your name, like I'm saying. Vista Cana is just a great option because of price points that are available inside Vista Cana. They have a private school coming there called Ashton School. They have a supermarket opening. They have Gold's Gym open. They have all these amazing things that are happening over there. 1,500 acres is what we have over there of land that is being developed. This is just prime time. Okay, so Vista Cana, and then obviously, guys, where it all began in Las Trenas. Okay, so we are the specialists of bringing you the love where you live lifestyle, and that's what we've helped countless people achieve. If someone has told you that buying property gets you residency, they're either misinformed or they're misleading you. All right, so keep that in mind. If you're reading that stuff out there on the internet, it's incorrect. I shared with you a post that someone had forwarded me, multiple clients had sent me, and I said, guys, let me do some research, and this is the research. Truth is that it is more complex than just buying a piece of real estate worth $200,000, and that's why you need a professional team to support you and guide you in this process. To understand the legal system of the Dominican Republic, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of North Americans navigate through the process of buying real estate here in the Dominican Republic, calling this place home, or calling it their plan B, or calling it an amazing investment for themselves, because find the right property and you're going to do well. Find the wrong property and you might regret it. Okay, guys, that's what we're here to do, help you in that entire process. Please reach out to me. I got my Love Where You Live network of professionals out there, my lawyers, the accountants, the doctors, everybody, the appraisers for your property, the bank, and like I told you, we are also now assisting with helping you guys get mortgages. Reach out. We've got a strategic partnership in place, and that's going to be really beneficial to some of you out there. All right, guys, hope this video helped. Please remember, like, subscribe, and share. Please remember, if you do like this video, or you have someone else that's looking at residency here in the DR, or you have someone that is looking to invest, please share this video with them, okay? Let them have a little bit of information. Any more detail, please reach out to me. My contacts are your contacts when you are a client of our firm. Okay, we really look forward to working with you guys, and we hope we can help you find that place that you say you love where you live. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. My name is KASH, President and CEO of KASH International Luxury Real Estate, coming to you today from Cap Cana, Dominican Republic. Take care. Talk to you soon.